Real quick intro because I'm about to go on holiday for the weekend. This video we're going to be looking at how to add leagues to the MBM Toolkit. We're going to start with the Championship because that's what starts today, and I'm just going to talk you through the import HTML, how to copy the existing templates and all that good stuff, so enjoy.
So let's start by creating the English Championship because that starts today, Friday 4th of August. And to do this, we're not going to reinvent the wheel and create new templates, and every time we create a league, we're just going to copy what we've already got and tweak it for the specific league. So for Argentina, as you can see here, we've got a hidden data table that's got all of our league data that uses HTML imports and little calculations, simple averages and bits and bobs to create our Poisson data, and then that feeds into this page, which is the public facing one where you'll see all your odds and bits and bobs. So I've literally just gone duplicate and named this one champ, and duplicate and name this one champ with a little flag at the start to show that we're working with our English ones. So you can actually hide these two now as well. So what are we stuck with? We're stuck with this, which is a data table for Argentina, and we want to transfer this into the English Championship. So how do we do it? We go over to, I use Soccer Stats, and I'll show you why quickly. Soccer Stats, we need home and away tables for each league. We need them separated into separate tables, which is the key point. So as you can see here, this is one table and this is a second table. If you go into Soccer Way, for example, you can look at the wide table and it will have home and away stats, but it's all on the same table. And if you look on SofaScore, it's a really nice user-friendly one actually, SofaScore, but it uses tabs. So it's one table, but separate tabs that you can click on. And that won't work for import HTML. You need, up here in the formula, you'll see it's got the word table, and you have to say which table number on that exact page, that web page we're looking for, and then you have to say which columns out of that table you want it to put in data for. So that's why we use Soccer Stats. So all we do is we've gone over to England 2 in this instance, and we've selected home and away tables, and this is what we're left with. And the web address up here is what you need for you import HTML. You're not reinventing the wheel. You can leave everything else the same. All we need to change is the country that we're looking at. So we're looking at England 2, and we hit enter, and now you'll see it'll populate with the 23-24 data for the championship, which is obviously null and void because we haven't started yet. I don't really like to use the data until it's had about 10 rounds of fixtures, but that's up to you, that's personal preference. So you can see that we've got 0 here, we've got games played, goals for and goals against at home, and then we've got average goals for and average goals against. Now this comes up as a div because this isn't imported, we're only importing this part of the data from Soccer Stats. This is what we've added in ourselves to get our averages that we need to drive our Poisson table. And down here is the first half data. So it's a similar story, but it's the first half data, so it'll point at a different page on Soccer Stats. Half-time stats will have changed to, and we'll be pointing at this one. And you can see here, the table is extended because there are more teams in the Argentinian league than there are in the English Championship, so that's why there's a bit of a gap there. But we want to leave it the same because otherwise the totals field here, which we reference in the lookup page, if you delete these cells to make it look tidy, it will change the cell number. So instead of being 66, for example, it might be 63, and you'd have to go through and change in every one of your formulas over here. So you don't want to do that. So just leave that as it is. So there we go. We've got all of our data ready. So once we've got all this, it gets took over to here, which again, I've left the formulas in so you don't need to worry about. So we've got all of our data. Assume we've got all of our data there now. And how do we get that over to making it usable? So if we skip over to the data page, we can see we've got loads of div errors because we've got no data. So what we've done up here is, you can see, we can show you what it is before. It's referencing Argentina basically. In all of the formulas, it's saying use the Argentina data page to get your data from. So all I've done is literally go through and change the word Argentina to champ in all of them. So that's what you need to do in order to make sure it sort of points at the right place. So then you're going to do the same for second half data. Everything's set up basically for the championship. The only thing that we can see here that doesn't look set up is that we've got the wrong teams. Now, normally if you wanted to change this, you could go to data validation. This is where we set it up in the first place, and say take it from, and it would have been taking it from Argentina instead, but I've already set this up so it isn't. It's now taking it from the championship tab, and And I know that looks messy now because it's got div errors all over the shop, but I hope you can see that when this data starts getting populated so after the first game of the season, by Sunday, but it will start to populate itself, and you'll start to get figures coming through here and make it useful. So at the moment, this part of the toolkit is pretty useless. Until you've got a few games to populate the data, it's not going to actually be very helpful to you. But I wanted to show you how you build it. So it's not difficult at all. You just need to do some duplicating and some changing of formulas with telling it where to point to. So yeah, sorry for that being real boring, but I hope you might have got some use out of it.